Hi, and welcome to our next video in our hymn series, Great Hymns of Faith, coming to you from St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Tampa. My name is Ryan Hebert. I'm the organist and choir master here. And since most of you will be watching these videos from your own homes during this quarantine, I thought I would share this time with you in my own home as we discuss hymn number 646, The King of Love, My Shepherd Is. Stick around. Hymn 646, The King of Love, My Shepherd is a paraphrase of the 23rd Psalm, and this coming Sunday is what's called Good Shepherd Sunday. This is a hymn written by Sir Henry Williams Baker, who lived from 1821 until 1877. Baker was an ordained minister and hymn writer. Interesting about his hymn output is that very few of his hymns are cheerful, exuberant, and joyful. Most of his hymn output were hymns that reflected the nature of themes that were more solemn, reflective, and tender, almost to the point that they reflect a great deal of sadness. He contributed to the history of hymnody by being an editor of the most significant hymnal of the 19th century, Hymns Ancient and Modern, which came out in 1861. Incidentally, 4 of his own hymn tunes are in this hymn collection. The 6 verses of The King of Love, My Shepherd is a paraphrase of the 23rd Psalm. Paraphrasing scripture was a common source for text of hymn writers. But what came with that was a challenge with having to make an unmetered scripture passage metered with a metrical structure of a hymn tune. So the hymn writers who used scripture to create metrical singing had the difficult task of actually aligning syllables, creating a rhyming scheme, at the same time as conveying the meaning of the poetry. And I think Sir Henry Baker does this quite beautifully. Most people associate this particular hymn with the other hymn tune in our hymnal, which is hymn 645. The name of that tune is St. Columba. But today we'll be talking about 646, and the tune of that hymn is Domine Regit Me. Incidentally, the New English hymnal also has both versions in it, although I suspect that in the Church of England they'll be more familiar with Domine Regit Me more than they would be St. Columba. John Bacchus Dykes was the composer of this particular hymn tune, and he lived from 1823 until 1876. He was a church musician and organist who served, among other positions in his life, as the organist and director of music at Durham Cathedral. Bacchus Dykes, like Sir Henry Baker, wrote hymns and hymn tunes. Dykes was also influential in the Oxford movement. This was a 19th century movement of musicians and hymn writers who wanted to incorporate high church elements into the Church of England. It was a movement that was started at Oxford University. Today's organ setting is a lovely trio composed by Malcolm Archer, another English organist and composer who most notably held his last church position at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. This is a lovely setting with the right hand moving in flowing 16th notes, and the left hand has the tune in a slower meter, and it comes together very nicely, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed that setting of The King of Love, My Shepherd Is. If you have a request for a hymn tune, please let me know by making a comment, and I'll see if I can dig something up in my library for next time. In the meantime, we'll see you next week.